Hello and welcome to the Whizzbang Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Goodall. I'm a musician myself, but I'm going to be interviewing other musicians, music managers, people in the music business in general. Today, my guest is my good friend, longtime collaborator, business partner, overall homie, Brad Jenkins of Ona. How you doing, Brad?
Good. How are you? My business partner.
Business partner. That's really funny to say, right? But technically, that is true.
It is.
You know, we're business partners together. Man, how's it going today? How are you?
I'm good. Got my seltzer in a glass.
Seltzer in a glass. That's
Doing good.
very classy. Good for you.
Thank you. I'm doing good, man.
We need some ice for you.
I've been listening to these, so these are.
You enjoying
cool.
the show?
It's cool to be on. Yeah.
Can you feel us kind of settling in? I'm getting a little bit better at
Yeah.
hosting. Can you tell I'm getting a
Yeah.
little bit better at hosting
Yeah.
the podcast? That's nice. Thank you for saying that. Or did I just say that out loud?
No, you're good. How are you?
Hey, man. I'm good. Anyway, what's going on with you, man? What'd you do today?
I worked a little bit then I hung out with my girls, took them to piano lessons.
Piano lessons.
This is the real deep stuff here.
I want to know about the piano lessons right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
I'll tell you a story about my piano history. I was offered piano lessons when I was 6 or 7 years old, and I refused to do them. I wouldn't go. I cried. And then I picked the instrument up later, 10 years later at 16, and it became my whole life. How are the kids dealing with the piano lessons?
There's two. Both of the girls are doing them. One interest is waning.
Okay.
Then one interest, one of them is gaining more interest in the instrument at home.
Starting to like it.
Yeah, the oldest one's getting into. She's getting older into the
Older
friends.
kid stuff.
Yeah, older kids stuff.
Big kids stuff.
But it's going good. The first couple piano lessons were just like filling the books and stuff, and I was like, I hope this is a legit teacher.
A little bit of like do, re, mi, right up the
Yeah.
scale, that kind of thing. Hey, you got to start
But
somewhere.
I started doing the same thing.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about your piano journey, because you're playing right now.
Yeah, well, I think approaching the instrument later has a way bigger impact than people think. Like you said,
Yeah.
how old were you when you really started
15,
like
probably.
dedicating
15.
time?
When it was like, okay, I'm going to play this instrument
Right.
now. I'm going to try to get good.
Right. I did not approach the guitar like that,
Right.
and I wish I would have in hindsight. You know what I mean? Just like right off the bat, just hammering practices and stuff, and I just floated by. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so now learning the piano at an older age, and I'm able to do that with that kind of practice style, like really dig into it.
Looking at it as an adult, I'm
Yeah.
like, if I sit down an hour a day and look at the instrument
Right.
and work at it, I can
Right.
figure this all out.
Right. I should have done that younger. Now
Hindsight 2020,
Yeah.
man. There's a lot of things I wish I would have gotten better at when I was younger. But I mean, I like that you're playing the piano now, because that makes me want to pick up the guitar, which I'm horrible at. But I mean, you're never too old to pick up a new instrument and start trying to figure it out.
Yeah, it opens everything up. And who
Yeah.
are we talking about? It's gonna kill me.
Piano player?
Piano player,
Keith
hero.
Jarrett?
No, other hero.
Elton John?
There's a lot of them. Bruce Hornsby. You were saying Bruce Hornsby.
Yeah,
learned
he was
it.
late.
He was late.
Super late.
He was late.
This could
yeah.
become a whole Bruce Hornsby podcast if it wanted to be. That's how knowledgeable I am about this
Yeah,
guy.
I
It's
guess
at a nerd level.
The whole encompassing thing I'm getting at is, I feel like when you're older, you just have a different mind and a different approach, mindset, and going into it.
Yeah.
And so what you expect out of it is also different too. Because when you're just learning guitar as a young kid, you don't know. You have dreams of being on a stage and stuff, but when you get older and you realize how those things actually work, it's not as glamorous as it seems.
It becomes more realistic, more human.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But it's going good.
That's good.
Slowly but surely.
You
Trying
can
to keep up with you.
You can always come over and hang out, and I'll show you E minor 7, A minor 7, all that stuff. I'll get you the 7th chords going. It'll be great.
I would have taken lessons from you, but we would have just written songs.
We would have just written Ona songs, and
yeah.
we would have just like started making demos in Ableton and all that stuff.
Yeah, so I went old church lady route. And
That's fine. Hit me up on year 3, and we'll start getting into jazz chords.
I hope I make it there. Yeah.
You'll make it there. Tell me a little bit about your first. Do you remember the first song you ever wrote?
Oh gosh.
Because I wouldn't.
I think the first song I wrote, I was probably 15 years old, was called was something about, I know it had the words lazy river in it. And the acoustic probably sounded like a lazy river.
Lazy river.
Yeah, I got real into writing songs from like 15 to 17.
Yeah.
Just the catchiest melodies I could come up with, but nothing. If I look back now, it'd be like I couldn't listen to that stuff. Me and you did.
Yeah, we had a recording session together.
We did.
We must have been seniors in high school, and it was a relatively close local studio. And it was songs that you wrote, and that was my first studio experience. I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah, and here we are now.
Here we are now.
We've been in real studios.
We've been in real studios, but we still don't know what we're doing. At least I don't. No. I would never admit out loud on a microphone that I know what I'm doing. It's just that's the wrong way to approach this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Speaking of the studio, we obviously have tons of memories of making the second Ona record, Full Moon Heavy Light. Which is behind you on that camera. There's a little vinyl there, a little plug. Tell me a little bit about how that felt for you as far as a collaborative setting, making the second record, being a little bit more established and a little bit more experienced. How did that feel for you overall?
I mean, it was a joyous experience. Being down in Athens was a pro for us because we were away from
getting
home.
Out of town.
Yeah. And because I have kids at home and stuff, so for me to get away just from my point of view, it's much easier to create.
Mm-hmm.
And just we were sleeping in the studio and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun. I think I hit a period. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. I think I hit a period where I almost got lazy as a songwriter because you all add so much to the songs or nuggets I bring in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I did catch myself looking back, being like, oh, that was a lazy move. It could have been more thought out, but not overthought in the same breath.
I understand what you mean. It's sort of like, well, I know if I bring in a chorus and maybe the first verse, maybe, and a lot of times this is the case. You can have a verse and a chorus, and if you have other good writers or part writers around you, the songs can kind of assemble themselves by just showing them what you got. And it's like, boom, we got a song. This guy is the king of bridges. Every time I bring a song to this person, they can come up with a way to take the tune out of where it's at and bring it back. It is extreme. I know you know this. It is extremely difficult to write a song, words and chords, and let's say get a demo too, front to back, completely by yourself. It's crazy because you kind of have to get out of your own writing style a little bit to get to a completed song. Because if you're only in your own little zone, you kind of keep hitting the same spot. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's the best part about being in a band too.
Yeah.
Is like laying into that, knowing that is there. You know, it's going to expand. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I always reference it like I need to get out of my head with this one.
Yeah.
When I spitball something, I'll know it just needs other people's playing on it or just arrangement stuff or whatever.
Just it needs like another person's angle because you're staring at a song this way, straight ahead, and another person's going to go, I mean, I get what you're doing, but why not just pivot it 15% to the left, and it'll take the song into a whole new vibe.
Right.
It's extremely difficult to complete. That's the reason these pop songs, we're always talking about like, you know, how did this stuff come together? Like these pop songs that are like on the top of the charts have like 6 writers on them. You know what I mean? That's because they need that. A good song has that balance of not just one author. Now, I'm not talking about Bob Dylan and the stuff that was obviously great from coming from just one writer, but like it seems to me like a lot of really good songs of today are a collaborative effort. Yeah.
And it's always different for the listener how they're gonna. You never know when you put out music what it's theirs now. You know what I mean?
100%.
So we're never able to listen to our own music passively. Not just to Ona's music, but anybody who creates something, you'll never be able to listen to it passively.
You can't enjoy it.
Yeah, but when I listen to it, I can see the filter that the water runs through, which is all 5 of us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And the bottom boil is the product, you know, or the record or whatever.
So. Right. I wonder what we're going to do. I kind of want to talk about just how we're thinking about a third album, but I don't want to, this could get choppy conversationally, but like, I know there's things we want to achieve, that Ona wants to achieve with the third album, and I don't even know where to take this question. I just want it to be that same experience we had in Athens, but just elevated as far as maybe the chances we took, or maybe some of the studio things we figured out and wanted to do, and just push the writing further. I'm excited for that experience. I didn't even have a question for you. I was just daydreaming about doing another record.
Yeah, it's like every go round, you learn and learn and learn. It's like going on tour. I remember when we first went out on the road with Tyler and the boys.
Yeah,
we'd sit there at side stage every night and just like squinting, like
mentally,
you know what I mean?
taking
Mentally
notes
taking
of
notes.
Okay.
Yeah, our friends are up there, like owning it, and just learning off of people that are better than you is super important.
Yeah.
That's how I feel like playing with you all. You all pressed
That's
me to
very
want to
nice.
be better.
Sure.
And
Ditto.
I think surrounding yourself with people that just ultimately make you better. You know what I mean? And that
100%.
might mean cutting it down or like cutting the fat off of it. But the circle is warm. The circle is small. That's the mantra. That's the mantra.
Man, like who's inspiring you right now, like songwriter wise? Or like what records are you digging into where it's like, I gotta grab that essence. I gotta have it. I know it's kind of hard to kind of pull a record out of thin air like that, but
I might be a broken record on this, but like Little Feat, just
Little Feat for sure.
The grooves and some of that stuff.
Quintessential Southern rock, right there.
Yeah. It's just deep, man. I'm trying to think of some. I just acquired a bunch of records too, so I'm going through them all.
Tell me about this record collection. I know you got Donald Fagen's Nightfly.
I got all the Steely Dan, baby.
You got all the Steely Dan? You
Katie
sent me a
lied.
picture. That didn't even make sense that you got that many good vinyl all at once.
Katie Lied, Gaucho,
Wow.
Can't Buy a Thrill,
Wow.
Ecstasy.
And they were like early pressings.
early pressings, yeah.
Wow.
Hey,
let me get some of those.
I will.
You
need
can
to-
bring them over. I
we
don't
need to
even
spin
have a
'em.
vinyl set.
I've been spinning a lot of those records. A lot of what I've been listening to is from that collection recently.
Yeah.
As far as, there's a really good Genesis live album that I
don't
got.
even know it.
Man, it's wild.
It's good.
Yeah, but you said Keith Jarrett earlier, and I bring him up all the time. But
Yeah.
I was turned on to the Cone concert.
Keith Jarrett's The Colne concert. Yeah.
And I kind of heard the backstory as I started listening to it while I was on the internet. And
Yeah.
so if you don't know the backstory, look it up, check it out,
Sure.
and listen to that concert if you have 48 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's just somebody improvising going on a journey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That music is meditative.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that you let's call you a singer-songwriter first and guitarist second, and band leader too. But like you listening to a solo piano record and being like, how can I? There's something to take from everything. It doesn't matter about what instrument you play or what your background is. Like if you inspired music is inspired music.
Yeah.
You're gonna get something from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the energy of live music as a band can kind of get you in this like full bore mode. You know, then you have to kind of back away and like think about dynamics and stuff like that. And so it's not just a wall of sounds. You
absolutely.
know? But in that album, it's just one guy, and you can hear his heart spilling out into the keys, and I think that's so cool. So maybe not a piano getting as good as Keith Jarrett is a goal, but conveying that message, whatever he's
right.
That's that's my journey right now.
Absolutely. I think Brad Jenkins is on a piano journey right now. This is a piano podcast today. I love it, man. The fact that you've dug so deep into the piano and you're responding to those kind of records is, awesome, because I know we link up on so much of that kind of thing. Man, thanks for stopping by today. I appreciate you being here. Excuse me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man.
Thank you. I need more water.
More water, less beer. More water for him and less beer for me.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.